welcome to Global
Hi,
Influencer
so
Lab. Here we talk about the life journeys of influencers, social media influencers, and we cannot wait to deep dive into yours. What I mean by deep dive is actually taking you right back to your childhood. So tell
yes.
us about Shaishav as a child. Naughty, curious, what kind? And this is your platform. Go for it.
As a child, I was a very average kid. I don't remember much about the early phase of my childhood because I have a very weird memory. Like I have just episodes that I remember. Like I remember once I got a scar on my forehead because I used to do cartwheels in the house of watching Akshay Kumar or watching those action movies, and then I ended up cutting my head. Then I also remember once my sister was being attacked by dogs. I was a very small kid that time, and I tried to like protect her from the dogs, and then I got bit by dogs. And ever since then, I started loving dogs a lot. So I think after that day, so all of this is very weird. But yeah, I was a normal kid, not very naughty, but definitely not very doodh ka dhula hua. I was a very normal kid, average normal kid.
Wonderful. Okay. So, what was your favorite subject during school days?
I didn't like studies at all. Like I didn't like studying. I think I didn't enjoy anything, honestly speaking. English was something that was good because my mom, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones, obviously. So every summer, my mom would force me to read books. We had a library in our society. So she had this habit that we had to join the library. And then it started becoming this thing that I used to love. I used to look forward to it to just like take books, and so it was a circulating library. You borrow, you return books. It was fun. So I started developing a love for reading, and then English was good. I used to enjoy history. History was again a subject that I was decent at. I can tell you what I was not good at. I was very bad at math. Like math is, I'm infamously bad at math. I'm horrible at numbers. And sciences, I didn't understand a word of what's happening. Biology, I was decent at. So yeah, and that's how it was for me. Very bad at sciences and maths. And
That's,
fun fact is, I'm a graduate in science. So yeah, we'll come to that.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. How did that happen?
So I am from an ICSE school. Like you know how we have different boards. So
Yeah.
ICSE is one of the boards, and I was in a very fancy school in this place called Thane, which is in Mumbai. It's near Mumbai, and I was born and brought up in Thane. And there's a school called Singhanias. It's owned by the Raymond's group of company, and I was so the school was very nice, and it was a very fancy school. I always used to dream like when I started reading Harry Potter, I used to compare the school to Hogwarts. Like that's how it was for me. So,
So real
ninth,
fancy.
sorry.
So real fancy.
Yeah, it's real fancy. I mean, and it was fun. I mean, for me as a kid, it was like I used to have stupid dreams. Like one day I'll buy this school and I'll turn it into my own house, and what it would be like to live in this building. So it's very nice. You should Google the school up one day and you'll see how fancy it is. So you'll understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, sure.
But as per Thane standards, it's like back in the day, people used to think Thane Gao hai, but it's not like that. I mean, the school was proof that Thane is a good place to be in. And anyway, I ended up taking science, and after eighth, we had to choose subjects. And I did science because tabik mentality hota hai, basic science to aana chahiye. Everyone should know science. So I ended up going for science, and I ended up scoring 83.3% in my 10th standard, which is a very good
Wonderful.
score in my
Yeah, yeah.
nobody ended up scoring 83 in my family. My sister, who's 3 years elder to me, she had, I think she got 71 or something, and I got 83. My mom was happy. I'm happy. I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
I know.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought colleges will line up to take me now, but back in 2002, that's when I moved out of school. 83 had zero value, so I didn't get into any college. I thought I would, but apparently I wasn't getting into any college. So I had to opt for a junior college, which is 11th and 12th high school kind of a setup. And I ended up taking science, thinking, how bad can it be? Because I'm bad at math. So in my head, I associated commerce with math. So that's basic. Like I didn't do any research, and my parents were definitely not involved in choosing anything for me. They were like, you do what you want to do. So I'd seen my sister do arts, And arts, I saw she had to write a lot of things. I'm like, I definitely don't want to write so much and write long answers. And commerce equals to math back then. That's what I thought. So I'm like, I'm decent at biology. Let me try science. So I ended up taking science, messed up royally because next 2 years, 11th and 12th, I didn't understand head or tail of it. Like there were a couple of friends of mine who were very caring. So they used to force me to sit with them in the canteen and they would teach me, okay, listen, if you don't do this, you're gonna fail. So I remember some of these friends were like too pure-hearted. Like, I mean, who does that for your friends, right? I mean, they wouldn't care so much.
I
They
know.
used, they used to sit with me and ensure that I'm actually learning basics enough to help me score a decent score. I ended up getting a 71, I think, 71 or 72 in 12. And again, I mean, I thought that, okay, let me continue making mistakes. And then I'm like, I ended up going for biotechnology. That was booming back in the day. Like every newspaper would say that, like we have AI now. Back in the day,
At
people
that
were
time,
like,
it was biotech. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
biotech, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go for biotech. And I was getting a seat in Mithibai. uh, I'm a Gujarati, so I mean, I took unfair advantage of that, which was very. I'm ashamed of it now because I cost someone their seat. Because I remember this girl who could have gotten biotech, but she had to settle for biochemistry because I ended up taking her seat through my pull or whatever. And that time you're immature, you don't realize that these things are not really good. And I ended up doing biotech again. 3 years of my college, I don't remember anything about it, like anything. Like, I don't know what I studied. I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up graduating with a 45% degree. Like I got 83 in 10th, 72 in 12th, and 45 in my graduation. I remember it was a very dramatic scene. After results, I was sitting across Mithibai College. Mithibai College is this very famous college in Parla in Mumbai. And there's a footpath over there right across the road. And I was sitting on the footpath waiting for rain. I was hoping that it'll rain and then, my tears will, I'll cry out and I'll scream out like,
At
what?
least you'll cry. Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
dramatic. But it was summer, so there was no rain and there
Nothing
was this
happened. Yeah.
pollution. And I realized that this was stupid. And that led me to thinking that whatever mistakes I've made, if there would have been someone to guide me through it, maybe I would have had an alternate pathway. And so I decided to take up teaching full time and ensuring that I don't let other people make the same mistakes that I made. So my mistake shaped me into what I am today, I'm guessing.
Fantastic. So we'd love to know all about that. Now, how did that switch to English happen? Like, how did that, being a teacher, what was the aha moment, if there was one?
Yeah, there
Like,
was. It's a
how
very
did
funny
that,
thing.
all of that come into place?
So I took up teaching in my second year of college to make some money on the, like, I wasn't doing well in college. Like I told you, it was a mess. Like I took first year college and I realized biotech is not for me. I ended up scoring very less marks. And my mom said, don't waste time in the vacation now. I mean, because you're anyway not scoring, do something, make something out of your life. So there were these local classes around my house. And through through someone, I got to know that they are looking out for a teacher to teach. And I just went there to speak to them. And they said, what, you'll teach science, right? Because you're graduating in science. I said, if you want the kids to fail, then sure, why not? I mean, I'll teach science. But I honestly told him I'm horrible at it. So he said, okay, what can you teach? So there were these textbooks lying around, and I saw the English textbook and I just scrolled through it. And these were interesting lessons, interesting stories. And I fancied the stories. I'm like, I think I can teach this, because the minute I saw the stories in my head, I started thinking of how I would teach the story across to someone. Right. So he said, English, are you sure you want to teach English? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm very good at it because I come from an ICSE background and English is my decent subject. And he said, okay, sure. Why don't you give it a shot? So, second year of college, that was my first teaching stint in this local class. And I was young, and the kids are also young because the age gap is hardly anything, right? Because I'm still in the second year of college. So,
Right,
this
right,
guy told me you have to wear formals and come to teach. You can't wear whatever you're wearing, like your denims and t shirt or whatever.
right,
So,
right.
because you have to look mature.
Yeah.
And in my family, there are no formal clothes. My dad is from the movies, so he's in direction and he was in the movies. So he's never had formal clothes ka concept, and I've never had formal clothes. So I had some passed on clothes from some cousins, which I wore, very loose trousers, very loose shirt, and I'm lanky back then. And I remember going into the class, but I was a hit somehow. I mean, because I could understand. I was. I think it came naturally to me. I just went and I started speaking, and I loved what I did. Like I loved that I'm connecting with these kids, and that was my first thing, teaching English, and that's how it's. I stuck to English after that. So after my graduation, I decided science is not the way to go. And if English is what I want to teach, then people need credibility. No one's going to settle for a science English teacher. So I did my post graduation in English literature. So I did it from Mumbai University. And so I have a BSc in biotech and I have an MA in English literature. So that's how I stuck to English after that. Then I never looked back. It was only English.
Fantastic. We'll hear all about that as well. So, was there just a question, like during that time, was there a teacher who inspired you? Teacher or anybody who inspired you to, the love for English came from that person, or it was just there somewhere, you just discovered it?
No, actually, you know what? Like, no offense to any teacher here, but I've only had bad teachers. Like, I've had teachers who I've never connected with. Like, when I remember there was this one teacher who was teaching me English back in school, and she was teaching Merchant of Venice, which is by Shakespeare.
Right,
And I
right.
remember she would make us write notes, so she's telling us the dialogues and we had to write. And like I told you, I'm this kid who used to stare outside the window and Pehla Nasha going on in my head, and I'm thinking of this girl, and
Imagine, yeah,
yeah, all of
imagination.
all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
those things are going on, and I didn't really like the way it was being taught. But there was this math teacher, and I'm very bad at math, right? So, but there was this math teacher, Mrs. George, Shiny George, her name is, and she was so kind and she was so nice, and she would understand that I'm bad at it, and she was very patient. She was also strict at the same time. So I think she was the teacher that I remember in my life that I want to be like her, that she's approachable, she's kind. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind every time I think of her is she's kind, like she
right,
understands kids.
right, right. And
And
nothing better than a kind teacher.
sorry,
Nothing better than a kind teacher.
the most important quality one can have if you're becoming a teacher.
Correct.
And in 10th, because I was horrible at math, somehow I think God sent this person in my life. There was this uncle in my society who my mom just happened to interact with, and his kid was a junior in school, in my school. And this uncle said that I'm not a teacher, but I like teaching. Why don't you send Shaishav to me for a couple of days to see if I can teach him math? So then I started going to his house, and he used to teach me. He's no more. I mean, he passed away. His name was Anant Ishwaran. And the way he taught me math, like whatever I passed in school, like I got a 66 in boards, which is big for me. Like I'm someone
Of
who
course.
can't add two and two.
Absolutely, of
Like I will
course. Yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
think
True.
of it. And the time I spent with him, these are some of my most memorable moments. Like he taught me not just about math, but he would have inspiring talks with me. He would share. He had this collection of comic books, and he knew I like reading, so he showed me all his retro comic books, and he gave me a fat comic book also. Now I've misplaced it, but I mean, I remember that time I was so touched that this is such a prized possession. So yeah, teachers like these are what I remember. And what I
Kind of
mean,
leave an impact on your mind. Absolutely.
100%. And I've also had bad teachers, like because there were
They
moments,
also do.
in school when I had this spurt of chalo try karta hu samajhne ka ki kya chal raha hai. Like most of the time it's my fault only. I'm not listening to what's happening. But then there are moments when I want to pay attention. So I would raise my hand and ask a doubt. And then that teacher would make disgruntled sounds like, Are yaar, are, ab puchega, like, ab jag raha hai tu, like, now you want to study, and then you feel discouraged. You don't feel like asking doubts. So
True.
these are people in my mind that I knew I don't want to be like. I'm like, I would never want to put a kid through what I went through, that insult, that whole humiliation, and I never wanted to become that kind. So I had a mix of both good teachers and bad teachers, and I knew exactly what I want to do. And I remember when I went for my first job as a teacher, someone had told me that you should teach the kids the way you like to be taught. Like think of what it would be like if you're on the other side of the bench. That advice went a long way with me because I realized what it's like to be on the other side. And yeah, that's what.
I think that's a very powerful advice as well.
Yes,
Because
I
that
think
takes
every teacher should
absolute. Yeah,
think
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
Now, what would you say were your early challenges as an educator?
As an educator, not being taken seriously. That was my first very important thing, because I started very young,
Yeah,
and because I think we spoke about it at the start that my name is Shaishav, and in Sanskrit that translates to childhood. So
childhood.
I have a lot of immaturity. I would not deny it. So I'm very friendly with the kids and people. I remember the first time I went into a school to teach. The school starts at 7:30 a.m. and it stops at 2 p.m. And I remember at 1:55 p.m., I remember that first moment in my staff room. I saw teachers all ready with their bags packed and everything, ready to leave. And I was chilled. And the teacher's like, aren't you getting ready? I said, for what? Like, it's not some, like, why? It's not a time bound job. They're like, yeah, you'll learn your lesson soon. The minute the bell rung, teachers exited immediately. But I used to stay back, and then I would wait for kids who couldn't ask me doubts in school, and they would come and spend time with me in the staff room. Then they'll ask me more doubts, then I'll clarify them, because I realize in class they are conscious, they don't want to like show that they don't understand something, but after school maybe they want to ask doubts. So I was that kind of a teacher. But people didn't take it seriously. They thought I'm being too friendly with the kids, and I need to have a stern hand. So yeah, uh, before you have proof of success, right, everybody doubts you. They're like, and like
Yeah,
when I used to start taking classes, like when I started my first class, my first branch I had started, I knew that the first incident that happened with me where I was forced to wear trousers and a shirt, and I knew how difficult it was for me to arrange those things. I didn't want that for any other teacher who's coming to work with me. So I didn't want this concept of uniforms or having a dress code. I used to tell my teachers, whoever I hired, that you wear whatever you want to wear as long as you are comfortable in that. In Bombay summer, I don't expect you to wake up in the morning, wear a tie and all that, and like go out of your way to buy clothes. You wear whatever you have, but as long as you're teaching well, nothing else matters. So I used to teach in shorts. I used to, I still do. I wear shorts to work. I wear a t-shirt and shorts, or sleeveless and shorts. I'll go and teach. If my teaching is good, my dressing won't matter. Of course, I'm not saying that you have to be inappropriate, or they're kids obviously, so you have to dress appropriately. But uh, people didn't take this seriously. So parents who would come for inquiries would see a guy wearing shorts and a sleeveless sitting and talking to them. And before I had proof of success, they wouldn't take me seriously. So they would feel, and obviously then there are some conservative parents who would think that there are girls coming here and he's this young guy. There are always these challenges, in the market, that he's a young person and a girl, and will he be a good influence on the
right.
girls? So I mean, I have cameras in all my classes just to be safe. All of this happened when I was younger.
But you just
Nobody.
started. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
As I grew older, obviously now I'm like this father figure, so everybody knows that he's just a protective angel for our kids. But yeah, I mean, I remember these are some distinct memories that I have, that people didn't take me seriously, or they doubted if I'll be able to make something of myself.
Early challenges. Wonderful.
Early challenges, yes.
Now, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always good to even share the challenges so people even know that, the awareness also is there.
Yeah,
Now,
I
tell
mean,
us about,
I give this advice to all the young teachers who join me now, who want to work with me, that you're going to all young teachers, there's a point when kids become fans of theirs. They are going to gain a lot of popularity, and sometimes that gets to your head. And you need to know that there's a thin line that you should never cross. Because you can be friendly with kids, but you
but
can
not the
never be
same.
friends with them,
Yeah,
because then they start taking advantage of you. So
correct,
that respect always needs to be there. And young
correct,
teachers who are setting out to become teachers, it takes them some time to fine tune that balance.
correct.
But once you gain
Absolutely.
it, it's fun.
100%. 100%. I think that's the difference between, you said it right, that, being friendly and becoming friends. There's always a thin line. So I think that's what really, even spells your success as well as a teacher overall. So tell us about Genius.
So this brand, right? I created. It's a long story. You have time, right? Because
Of
it's
course,
to
it's your
dive into where
platform.
it
Yeah.
all started. So I started off teaching at that class that I spoke about. And after those classes, I saw a vacancy in a school. So I applied to the school. And the first requirement they had was, do you have a BEd, a Bachelor of Education degree, which is a must for teachers? And I didn't have one. I had an MA by that time. So I told them I don't have a B.Ed, but I'm very good at what I do. Why don't you just meet me once? The principal was very impressed with the way I spoke and everything. And B.Ed didn't matter. Only thing it mattered in is I didn't get the standard payment, which normally you get if you have that
If
degree.
you
But
have
I
that.
wasn't doing this for payment back then. I remember I was doing it because I used to enjoy just the idea of going to a school and making a difference. Um, when I was in school, I realized that I want to do a lot as a teacher, but there are a lot of limitations. You have to take several permissions. I want to show a movie to a kid, but I have to go through several permissions to do that. I want to stay back and tutor a kid, but it is you have to again take several permissions to do that. So I realized along the way that I don't function well with authority. Like if I have to turn around and say yes, boss to someone, I can't do that. Like I need to be my own boss. So I decided to create my own brand or my own institution where everything that I saw as a shortcoming in schools, I would fulfill that in my classes. Again, I didn't want to go the traditional coaching center way. Like I never wanted to be identified as a coaching class. So think of Genius Inc. as a place where studies go beyond books, where the bare minimum is that whatever is taught in school is taught in a much better way over here. But at the same time, I'm also inculcating values which normally you don't get outside. And there's no
Fantastic, because those are the softer skills that actually, needed in real life.
agreed. I mean, and people are so engrossed in just wrapping up syllabus and churning out kids who have
Yeah.
good scores
You
that
turn
they
out to be
forget that they
robot.
also have to become good human beings along the way, right?
Absolutely. Spot on. Absolutely.
So that's what Genius Inc. is. I started off with a brand where I wanted kids to come and feel safe. That was the first agenda. Like
Mm.
after you're spending 8 hours in a school, if you have to come to another place, it should be a place that you're comfortable in. So
And
one of the
also,
basic,
yeah, where you feel you belong and have fun and, feel safe.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, and one of the basic things that I started off with, right, back in the day when I started Genius Inc., it was very stupid now that I think of it. But all the other classes, they would have plastic chairs, plastic benches back then. They would be like, who spends on infrastructure? I mean, kids are paying you money, you have to churn out profits. But I always wanted to spend on the ambience. Like I wanted the kids to feel like they are in a good place. So I had bean bags. I had a library, like I invested in a library. And I wanted kids to have an atmosphere where they are relaxed. And I like early in the day, I had aromatherapy in my classes, like back when it wasn't even a thing. Like I had diffusers in my classes because I needed the kids to feel calm. I needed them to have that whole 5-star experience and also enjoy studies at the same time. Washrooms, I remember when I used to teach at school or other classes, the washrooms are so icky and
oh
dirty.
my God, yeah.
So,
Seriously.
I mean, I wanted a place where washrooms are good,
But
where girls have sanitary pads available without actually worrying about it, and fire extinguishers. Like, I had fire extinguishers long ago before disaster happens. Like, then I've read in newspapers that some classes caught fire and some kids passed away and died in that tragic accident. And I used to think, why wait for disasters to unfold? Like, you should have these things in place, right? Kids don't shouldn't settle. They deserve a lot more.
of
And
course, of
I
course.
didn't want to earn short-term profits. Like actually, I've still not gotten into profits. As a businessman, I'm very bad. I'm a very bad entrepreneur. But I think I've created a legacy where whoever's passed out of Genius Inc. And I started in 2013. So since then till now, I am very sure that there's not a single parent who goes out and cusses me or curses me or says that we made a mistake joining Genius Inc. That never happens. And that itself, it matters a lot to me. I sleep peacefully at night knowing that people are blessing me in their sleep. So as naive as it sounds, it's very important for me that people feel safe. So that's Genius.
Absolutely. I think the qualities and the journey that you talked about, I think it was more of a leader as well. So I think there is a lot of leadership traits and rules and roles that you have taken on as well, just to create that kind of space for your kids.
Yeah, but heavy is the head that wears the crown, because when I created Genius Inc., the name, my parents told me, why don't you go with Shaishav tutorials? Because all these classes have their own name, right? So in my head, I'm like, because I don't work well with authority, there could be someone like me who maybe doesn't want to work for me. So whenever I hire teachers, I used to tell them, you don't work for me, you're working with me. But if
True.
I keep the name as Shaishav Tutorials and then I say, think of this as your own classes, then that's hypocritical. How could anyone think of Shaishav Tutorials as his own class, right? So I wanted a brand name that is not Shaishav, but it is something everyone can call as their own place. Teachers I'm talking about. So whichever teacher would work with me, when they go outside and they speak that I'm with Genius Inc., they should feel proud of the institution they are with. So I wanted a name where they feel that they are equals, not inferiors working
Yeah,
under
yeah, I
me.
have to correct something right now that you said. You said that you were not a good business person, but I think you're brilliant. Because you do have the branding sorted. So, and that is a very, very powerful thing to have in a business.
Thank you. Thank you so
See,
much.
see, see, the numbers, they count. The people and the branding and all of that, that's what really matters the most. And
Thank you.
that's what will take you a very long way. So absolutely, please take that out of your head that you're not a good entrepreneur. I think you're spot on and brilliant. So
Thank you.
tell us about your centers in Mumbai.
So
How
I
many?
started off at Opera House. Are you from Mumbai?
I've visited Mumbai a few times. I'm not.
So there's this location in South Bombay called Opera House, all right? And I was very lucky that my first branch was this place where you can, it overlooks the sea, the ocean, right? And you can see that. And it's a heritage building and a very small place that I bought mehnat se I created into this very nice place. And there's a terrace and you climb onto that terrace and you can see the sea from there. Very peaceful. That was my first branch in 2013. And then I had this notion that I want to open a center everywhere in Bombay, but I also want to have the same quality that I have. So I used to make teachers travel from Bombay. Then I opened up in Vilepale, which is in the suburbs. Then I opened up in Ghatkopar, which is in central suburbs. Then I opened up in Thane, which was my original birthplace. So I'm like, okay, I want to go to Thane also. But then I realized this is a very ambitious and very stupid plan because all teachers can't actually be at all places, right? And traveling commute also takes a lot of time.
Correct.
So then slowly and steadily experimenting here and there, I started expanding in certain places, shut the branch in certain places. As of today, we've got 3 centers. Finally, where I am right now is my Parla center. It's my biggest center right now. I've got a center in Chembur, and I've got a center in Ghatkopar. So we've got 3 centers, and I'm learning. I'm learning still. Every year, I have to learn how the demographics change and what the requirement is, or where there is more footfall. So accordingly, I'll
You
expand.
adapt. You adapt accordingly. Fantastic. Now tell us about your social media. How did you start your Instagram and what happened and all of it?
It started in COVID. Like in the lockdown, Instagram was new. I was new to Instagram. Get the I was trying to understand how this works. Like initially, it was just about kids saying, "Sir, follow me," and then I'm like, "I'm following you," but what am I looking at? Because I was used to this thing called Orkut. I don't know if you know, there used to be this social media thing back in
Yeah,
the day
yeah,
called
yeah,
Orkut,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Facebook happened, and then Facebook and Instagram happened. So Instagram initially it was just followers, and kids are like, you have to have followers and all that, and I'm like, I don't understand what this means. But during lockdown, I used to take Zoom sessions with the kids, so Zoom lectures, and I posted one of these lectures on YouTube, and it was a hit, and people loved the way I taught. And a lot of comments started coming from different parts of the country saying that we don't have good teachers who are not teaching like this. And then I started recording lectures on camera and putting it up on YouTube. And the exact moment when I went viral was when I turned Merchant of Venice into a rap. I can't sing, so don't we shouldn't have any moment over here where you're going to ask me to rap. I'm clarifying that right at the start.
Making sure
What,
that I don't ask that question.
you can look it up on YouTube. So I had made this very cringe rap, and in my head I'm like, this is cringe. I'm like, why hide it? Sell it as a cringe rap. So I sold Merchant of Venice as a cringe rap, which was the my rap is cringy. I am cringe, but the kids really loved it because it was
Gen Z
new to
must have gone
them.
crazy about it.
They could remember the whole scene, and
Yeah.
as they in some Mumbaiya language, so it was not just English. There's also some uh, like Tapori rap in it. And that's when I went, and then I'm like, okay, look at the love I'm getting. It hit like 1 million and all that, and then I started getting a lot of followers, and then I realized I'm good at this, good at being cringe. I'm saying. then I started, then I started putting up more and more raps, and also along the way, I started putting up lectures. So it was a balanced act of fun reels and also teaching concepts. So people would know that I'm not just some content creator, like I'm a teacher. Ultimate content creation comes secondary to me. Like I'm
Correct,
not full
correct.
fledged into content creation.
Right,
Like,
right.
and I remember there was this time when I started feeling the pressure that I have to keep putting up a reel every day if I want to stay relevant. And I realized this is not what I want. I don't want to do that. I don't want to just make a reel for the sake of it. I want to make a reel when I think of something in my head.
Content. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember that was a time when I was also, we are humans, right? So when you see your follower count increasing, somewhere it excites you that, oh, I've got these nice.
Of course, absolutely, yeah.
But at some point, I realized that I said something wrong, all right? Something. So I'm politically incorrect all the time when it comes to giving opinions. Like I don't filter anything, I just say it. And I remember there was this time when I ended up commenting during COVID about how about mismanagement of the government, and how oxygen tanks were not being supplied to people and all that. And I got a lot of hate online, and people and my friends advised me that you're a teacher, stay away from politics, focus on academics. Don't you want to voice out your opinions, then have another page where you're doing that.
Right, right,
Kids are following you for education, not for anything else. So
right.
I was learning, and then I realized I don't want to have followers who are just going to follow me or like my content because I do what they want me to do. Like I wanted followers who follow me for who I am, not for what I'm trying to be for them.
Hmm.
And then follower count became something I don't care about. I saw that there's this trend where wherever board exams are happening, I get a surge in followers because I put up content related to boards. The minute board exams get over, those people unfollow. And I don't feel bad about it. Like I say it myself that it's completely okay because the content that I put up is not relevant to you anymore, right? You've passed out of school. So why should you follow anybody if you're not going to actually see content that you like? So I
Correct.
don't feel bad about these things. And that's how my content creation and teaching happens at the same time.
Oh, very cool. Now, how do you interact with your followers? Do you interact? How do you, you
Ooh,
know?
again, I'm very bad at this. So very bad as in very bad. So I occasionally keep putting up these question and answer sessions so that people can ask me questions. But then I forget about it, that I've put up this thing. And then I go about having lectures through the day. And then at night, I suddenly realize, oh my God, I put this up. And when I see that over 2,000 responses, then I try to like constantly reply to each of them. But I'm also tired. Then I can't reply to them. So then I send across one voice note to everybody, apologizing sincerely that, it's not like I'm ignoring you. I really can't keep up with all the love that's coming in. So, but when I see there's most of them, anyone who types a I and then just waits around, I normally don't reply to them because I'm like, if it's something important, then you'll tell me. But then there are parents or kids, I mean, parents and kids both follow me, who actually write
Hmm.
long messages about an issue that they have. So
Hmm.
those people I reply to most of the time if I can find their comments. Half of the comments get hidden in personal requests or hidden messages. So sometimes I don't find them. So then people will write in under comments under reels that you've not replied to me yet. Then I go ahead and I reply to them. Uh, and when you are in Bombay and people who are in Bombay, they normally tend to just stop by at one of my branches and come and they meet me and they hug me. It's like so many kids who are not my students keep running into me and they'll be like, "Your Shaishav sir, we went through your videos," and I love them. I'm glad it helped. I'm like, and I just hug them and that's it. It's meet and greet
How
every
does
day.
that feel? How does that feel that you're actually touching lives in such a positive way?
I feel good. I mean, I feel scared also. I say this. So I don't know how long I don't know if you've done your research and gone through my page, but if you notice every year, there's this one particular date where you'll see a lot of content, and that is 23rd July, which is my birthday. and I make a big deal of it every year. Like, I'm shameless about my birthdays. Like, I start,
Fantastic. So am I.
but not to the extent that I am, because I actually call people up on my birthday to tell them wish me. It's like that. My group names, all the WhatsApp groups names of students, they change to Shaishas's birthday, Shaishas's birthday, Shaishas's birthday, Shaishas's birthday. So I bully people into, and I put up wish lists. Again, I got a lot of hate from my family members for that you're exploiting children. Why are you making them give you gifts? I'm like, Eklavya gave his thumb for Dronacharya. I'm just asking for basics. So I teach kids basic math. I tell them like July onwards, start saving 20 rupees that you would spend on vada pav. Start saving 20. Then collectively, it comes up to so much money. And I can actually use that money. Once a year, I'm pampering myself. That's completely fair. So then birthdays became a huge thing. And wait, I forgot what your question was. Why did I dive into birthdays? What was your question?
No, it was about this, about, I mean, I don't think that was really a question. It was all about,
About how the kids interact with me, right? Like
yeah, so
I
much
lost
kind
I
of
lost I lost the
more like a
connection.
conversation. It wasn't a question. So I
I
think,
forgot
I
why
mean,
I dived
I
into
think we started talking about. Uh, I think we were talking about how you're impacting lives and how you feel and all that.
Oh yeah, sorry. So you said if I feel good about if I'm touching lives. So
Yeah,
during
yeah, yeah.
these birthdays, right? I mean, materialistic gifts apart and all the immaturity apart, kids write a lot of sentimental messages, and it's very heartfelt. And I have all of those, right? Like I have all of those. Like I have an entire cupboard full of my old, like right from start till now. I have all the messages. I take screenshots of these messages. They are so pure hearted that if they are taking pains to write something, that means they care. Because I wouldn't take so much pain to write such a long message if I didn't really care about someone. So these things make me feel good, and I'm scared. That's what I was trying to tell you,
Yeah,
that
I
after
think
I
you
get
said that
all
you
of
were
that
scared.
love,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
I wake up scared that I'm going to lose it all the next year. So every birthday, I'm like, maybe my next birthday won't be this grand. And it turns out to be much better than the previous year. But I always live under that constant fear that I'm going to lose all the love.
But why
I
is that
Whenever I
fear?
don't reply also to kids, I feel that I'm gonna lose.
But why that fear?
I
What
don't know. I
triggers the fear?
honestly don't know where it comes from. It's this innate need to not be misunderstood, I think. I'm okay with people not liking me. Like I always tell kids on the first day of lectures that you can either love me or hate me. There's no like. Nobody likes me. There's only love or there's hate. Like, and I'm completely okay with either emotion. I just don't want anyone to not love me because of a misunderstanding. Because
Right.
they think that he
You
doesn't
just
respect
don't
me
want to
well.
be misunderstood, basically, in
Yes.
whatever shape
Although I
or form.
can't avoid it. Like in my head, logically, I know that people who are going to misunderstand are going to misunderstand. You can't
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
But you're still ambitious. You don't want people to be. I feel like they should have all the facts. And then if you still don't like me, that's completely okay. But don't hate on me just because you don't know something about me.
Right, right. Of course, of course. Wonderful. Now, tell us about your hobbies.
Hobbies,
How do you chill?
I vegetate. Like I like watching movies a lot. So I watch a lot of shows, movies, like on reruns. Like I've reached a point in my life where I'm so anxious. I get anxiety issues a lot. So I don't watch any show that has anything remotely sad. Like if there's any show which is where someone's going to die, a character's going to die. I mean, imagine an animal. Like I cried when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, because there's this part where animals are being tortured, or those fictional CG characters are being tortured. But I cried my eyes out, and my wife was so irritated with me in the theater. She's like, listen, this is getting irritating now. You need to control yourself. Because I'm like literally like sniffing away and crying, and she was embarrassed. And so I only watch shows which make me very happy, mindless lines.
Have a happy wife. I
Yeah.
think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think
Even
to,
books, the
yeah,
last book
yeah.
that I've read, people think I'm this voracious reader. I'm a very intellectual person. I'm not. I want to clarify that. I've stopped reading books, mainly because I don't get the time. Because through the day I'm involved in academics, and then otherwise I'm doom scrolling. And but the last book that I had read, which broke me completely, was The Kite Runner, by Khalid Hosseini. And I remember I cried days on end, because I was like, I couldn't get over that book. And after that, I'm like, I can't read another book that's going to make me cry so much. So I need something that's chilled. That is what I do to pass time. I travel a lot. So through the year, I try or I wish that I can travel. I don't know if that counts as a hobby, but for me,
I
I
think
like
that.
travel. Even if it's within Mumbai,
Yeah,
I just like
yeah.
walking around, exploring cafes. I don't mind just going and sitting in a cafe and having a coffee. I mean, I'm doing nothing basically, but that's what I like. And I like malls a lot. I'm a shopaholic. So, I mean, whenever I
Very
feel stressed, I just walk into a mall and then
good. I
I,
can see your wife is very lucky in that way.
I am the wife in the relationship when it comes to shopping and all that, or packing bags. I'm bad at my spending abilities and I'm a spendthrift. I make a lot of purchases which I regret later. So, yeah.
But that's okay. That works at times. So what's next? So what's your big vision for you know geniusing?
I um I want to stop teaching after I cross 50. I don't want to be the kind of teacher who people secretly wish that he should know when to hang his boots. So I want to become the kind of person who gracefully retires. And I'm not, and at the same time, I've left behind a legacy that people remember me by. Like they are like, there used to be this guy Shaishav who used to teach. If he was teaching English, then you'd be good. So that's my vision, just leaving behind. What I want to do after 50 is I just want to like open up my own cafe, maybe, or have like, I like making coffee. I like serving. Like, I have this thing that I'll open a cafe and a juice bar, and I'll take occasional lectures, like a visiting faculty. Like, people will call me to give guest speeches and guest lectures. And
Hmm.
my dream is to one day speak in front of a huge stadium and just talk to people. I like that. I don't have stage fright. Like, I don't get scared of crowds. Like, I like speaking on stage. I like speaking to a huge crowd, huge
You're
audience.
performing.
I like performing, yes, but at the same time, I don't like being fake. So, I don't prepare for anything. Like, I don't prepare for speeches. I don't prepare for when I'm called to judge an event. I don't prepare. I like speaking from here. I mean, although it lands
Yeah.
me in trouble sometimes, but it's always good to be genuine. And that's the thing. I'll see how life takes me. Uh, but I don't mind not doing anything after 50. Like, a lot of people are scared, that what next? Like, will you be able to stay idle? I think I will be. I mean, I have all these books that I've not read so far. One day I'll just spend time reading all these books, watch
Right.
movies,
Right.
traveling. Yeah. So that's that.
Cool. Wonderful. So can we jump to some rapid fire?
Go ahead.
Okay. Grammar or literature?
Literature. I like reading stories. So literature.
Online or offline teaching?
Offline, because online people are a bit shy, and offline I like meeting kids and hugging them.
The connection is there more. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
One habit every student should build.
Being authentic. I feel, I don't know if that's a very unconventional answer, but habit, I don't know if you meant academically or in life, but I feel like
No,
the
I
sooner,
think just overall. I think
then
it's
it
a
needs to be honest right from the start. Because if you start being authentic and you don't care about what people think about you right from the start, then you
right.
don't have the need to be accepted in society. Then you can just be yourself.
Yeah, authenticity I think is gonna become more important now than ever given the boom of AI.
100%. I mean, kids, I think they yield to pressure and they want to be accepted by friends and groups, and they try being some people they are not. So if they realize that eventually, people who are going to abandon you will abandon you regardless of who you try to be, then might as well be yourself right from the start. So that is a habit I would like the kids to have. Like, stop lying and stop being scared of people. Just be yourself.
True. Reels or classes?
Classes. I mean, classes always, like, classes helps me to meet kids. So
Some people
classes.
say, yeah. One common mistake students make.
Getting scared of exams. Like, I don't think exams are something anyone should be scared of. It's a piece of paper designed by some people in the government or in the world, I'm saying, at a group, who may or may not be as smart as you are. They are judging you on abilities that they have dictated. So, you may be really good at something else. So you're
I think
just
this
not
piece
at
will
this.
become a hit, I'm telling you.
Sorry.
I'm saying this piece that you just said will become a huge hit.
Thank you. But it's actually true. I just wish kids could stop treating exams as something to be scared of.
True,
I mean,
true,
you read something, now you're trying to write something about it. Big deal. I mean, just go ahead and enjoy it and come. It's okay.
true, true. Marks or life lessons?
Life lessons. Marks can be fabricated. So
True, true. One message for students.
be kind. Very important to be kind at this age. Like educate, like all the syllabus keeps changing through the years, but qualities that you get into right now, those qualities will stay for life. So be kind and be empathetic towards everybody. And if they are kind and empathetic, automatically civic sense comes in. I think one important, like, I appeal to every single teacher. If this video ever goes out to teachers who are watching this, if at all, then I would request all teachers, whether you're math, science, whoever. I mean, I understand syllabus is important, you have to cover the portion. But if all of us collectively start teaching kids civic sense, then this problem that we have in our country, where India is associated with lack of civic sense, will stop, because there's no degree that teaches you civic sense, right? It has to start from kids will do what they see teachers doing. So I'm
True.
very particular with my kids that after lectures, you have to arrange the benches yourselves. You have to clean up after yourselves. I've got two office people who help me, but I've strictly told them they will not pick up the litter that the kids spread. It's not their job. I mean, I want them to have dignity of labor. One person who works with me is Vishnu ji. He has kids of his own. I never want his kid to come to my office and see his father cleaning up some other people's kachra. So I want the kids to have that thing that you have to clean. And if, like, even bathroom etiquette, like, I tell the kids to clean everything and leave it be clean enough for other people.
Way it is. Yeah, yeah. True, true,
I feel
true.
kids need to learn this right from the start. There's no separate degree for this. If you don't start now, you're not going to develop it later.
Very true. Very true. Now, one word for your journey so far.
Very interesting. I've grown a lot. I am learning a lot even now. It's interesting. I like my life. I've never complained about my life. I feel that there's some higher power watching over me. I genuinely
Of
feel
course.
that I'm God's favorite child. I know a lot of people say that about themselves, like, we are God's favorite, we are God's favorite. I'm sure they are, but that if there was a super favorite, then that would be me. Because I know that because it's true. Because I think every time I could have been in a very serious trouble because of mistakes I've made, he's always been there to protect me and to teach me the lessons the right way. And I'm surrounded by a lot of love. I, I wake up surrounded by love. I go to sleep surrounded by love. What could be better than that? So, I mean, my journey has been interesting.
Absolutely. Fabulous. Fabulous. So, the final one is, suppose you have a movie made about you.
Oh,
What would you want the name of the movie to be?
sheesh. See, these are the kind of questions where people judge you by your how smart you are. And now I'm like, what should the name be? Mhm.
No, not at all.
Uh, what would you give me three options? Do you have an option right on your head?
No, I mean, I want, like you said, I want it to come from your heart, like, because you've lived it, So from the very, from our brief interaction, I can say you're a very authentic. You adore authenticity, uh, and a very straight shooter. So it. I mean, I can come up with a name, but I
Yeah,
would want.
I think Master, I think, would have been the name. Like, I actually love that movie also. I wish I would do something like Vijay does. In my head, I'm an action person also. I always wish that, when I'm teaching the kids, there should have been some kind of an attack where someone comes in and tries threatening one of my kids. And then, I smash that
Yes,
guy up.
okay.
Yeah. Shaishav was amazing. In my head, I'm very macho. I'm very scared even of cockroaches. So, I know that I'm gonna scream and like run away when something like this actually happens. But yeah, Master. I think Master would be like this action-packed journey of mine. Like,
Very cool. I like the name as well.
yes. It's a
Fantastic.
bit broken though, but yeah, master two it will become.
Master. Yeah, cool. So I think I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I
Likewise.
think pretty much I've covered most of it. If we have any more content that we need, my team will definitely reach out to you.
Sure. Yes,
And
and
I would love to know how you enjoy talking to global influencers. How it's been.
it was a very natural flow. I think I was just having a very normal conversation. So thanks for making me feel comfortable, and thanks for being patient with my technical glitches also. Whoever's handling the technical part of this. So thank you so much for everything, and thanks for being patient. I realized there were moments in this thing where you were trying to ask me something, and my voice was overlapping, and I went on speaking, and I felt immediately bad that I'm not letting her speak.
No, no, no,
So
no, that's fine. That's how conversations flow.
yeah,
It
okay.
was
So
not really. It
thanks.
was not really the formal. It was see. We actually at Global India, we don't want it to be a very formal thing. It should flow like a conversation. And I
Yeah.
think if you're right now sitting right opposite me, and just if I had known you, it would be the same thing. I also love talking. You love talking, so we were just trying to talk. So it's fine. So
It
I
was a
think
very
it's
fun thing. Thank you so much for making me comfortable. It was a very natural flow. I loved it.
wonderful. And all the best for everything in life.
All the best to you too. And I hope that this turns out to be what you wanted. And all the best and stay safe. Thank you for everything.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.